Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Farming Simulator 19. And as you can see directly in front of us, we have quite a bit of wool from our sheep that we need to take to be sold. So we need to take that to the spinnery. And unfortunately, the timing didn't work out to where I could actually have the entire trailer full, but you can see that you can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on one side, and of course 6 on another, for a total of 12 pallets altogether. So that should give us a nice bit of income. It doesn't appear as though the sheep are going to be a huge money maker at this point, but of course we're just getting started, and we've got one enclosure here that is only, well, not even quite halfway full, and then of course we've got another enclosure over here that we haven't even touched yet. So we got quite a bit of growth that we need to do with the sheep. So this is just step one. So we're going to be taking this over to the spinnery. We're also going to be selling some milk today. We need to sell off a few cows because we're getting very close to our quota on those, our maximum number. So now the first thing we need to figure out is, all right, so where are we taking these? So we pull up the map, and let's find the spinnery here on the map. And the spinnery is right down here somewhere. Where is the spinnery? There it is. So that's where we're headed. And let's go ahead and tag that place so it'll blink at us a little bit. So we've got quite a distance to travel. We got to head, either take the main road or our normal route that we take to the storefront, which is right over here. And then we'll simply hang a left down here and follow the road over to the spinnery. So either way, we've got a little bit of a haul in front of us. Now, one interesting thing that I did figure out as I was loading these pallets up using our forklift is that if we look right on the corner up here of the top right hand corner of our field, there's a little bit of crop destruction there simply because I really couldn't avoid it. We got these basically as close as we could get them to the field and snap onto the grid quite nicely. So it's not a huge deal, but there is going to be some crop destruction as I use the forklift to get up and over. All right, so we're going to bring our trailer right over here. And while we're here, of course, you can tell that our oats are ready to go. So we're going to get our combine up and running. We're going to hire our worker. Without these AI workers, so much of this would not be possible. Okay, so now that we've got that taken care of, and of course the train's going to come by and scare us half to death, since we are way too close to this train for comfort. This is also why you strap these guys down. All these pallets, you strap them down, because otherwise we'd be dumping wool pallets everywhere. All right, so that was actually pretty good timing for the train, so we'll get that train out of the way. And now we'll be able to cross without issue. All right, so yeah, we got a lot to do here in today's video, and hopefully we're going to get a little bit of additional income. You can see we're down to 39,600 right now, and that's because some AI payments, but I've also been doing some landscaping over around the sheep, and also I've put a road back behind field number 1 just to try to connect and make it feel more like one complete farm rather than a bunch of different segments. And of course, I've been thinking about where we go from here. Of course, job number 1 is going to be to get a lot more sheep. We're going to need a lot more sheep to get a lot more wool and to really increase our income there, because long term I want to get away from so many of the horses. I'll probably keep a few horses, maybe the small enclosure, but the large enclosure, the horses are a lot of work, so I have to decide if I want to have a mod to take care of all this long term, or if I just want to move on to maybe something else, like maybe put pigs there or whatever the case may be. But there's no doubt the horses are tremendous money makers, but they do take up quite a bit of time, although it's not to do with their food or water in this case. But you can see, I mean, I've only gone just a couple of days, I think, in game time since we were last together, and so we've gotten quite a bit of wool. But I can estimate that we're going to have quite a nice income off of selling sheep, because they appear to reproduce about twice as fast, give or take, than the cows do. So from that perspective, I think we're in pretty good shape from making a little bit of money each day from selling off a few of the cows, as well as a few of the sheep, as well as the wool and the milk that we get. So shouldn't be too terribly bad, but it's of course everything basically pales in comparison to what the horses bring you as far as income. All right, so we come down to our stop sign. Let me pull up the map just so I can make sure we're on the main road that we need to be on. All right, so we should need to head right down here. Of course, the restaurant is right here on our right there. And so we need to take a right here. And this will take us down to the Spinnery. Been a little while since I've been down to this area of the map. So this will be, and there it is, right up there on the side. I'm still a little confused as to why the side of this wall is missing there and is in shambles. I really don't understand that. Because, I mean, there hasn't been a war in the area for some time, so it's not like there was just a battle around. So just another design choice. All right, so the next thing we're going to have to figure out is, am I going to have to unstrap these wool pallets in order for them to sell? And the answer to that seems to be no. Let's see. The first two did not trigger. Why did they not trigger? But you can see clearly the rest of them certainly did. Let's actually hop out here for a moment. And I'm now going to unstrap. And then we're basically just going to back up and through here again to see if we can get this thing to trigger. And for some reason, it does not want to trigger. All right, well, let's try this again. So we got all of them but two. So I'm just going to make another swing around. Oh, good gracious. Okay. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. We're about to lose some wool pallets. Will this let me get by with it? Ooh, is that going to hold? My guess is no. But at this point, we certainly got to try it. Otherwise, I'm simply going to have to get another forklift or something and bring it down here for just such an occasion. But so far, it looks like it's going to hold. We got just enough strapped down in order for this to work. All right, come in from a different angle. Oh my goodness, seriously? You can see it sold one of those bags right there, but it's not selling all of it. Okay, really, this is... All right, so what can we do here? So we're going to try to back up a little bit. Yeah, we're going to get it in a bad shape. And then essentially what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to unstrap this. And then I'm going to see if I can't get these pallets to fall off. There we go. All right, that took care of one of them. All right, fall off. Oh, there we... Oh, we're so close. How is this thing still on there? There we go. So we got it. Certainly not the most conventional of methods, but hey, we got it. Let's see. This actually might work. Let's just take this route back around. Looks like it's going to loop around for us. Give us a chance to see another little bit of the map that we haven't seen before. Oh, it's always nice when you're driving in pylons into a marshy area. That's got to make you feel good when you're going across that bridge. All right, there you can see on our left there is actually field 18, a fairly small field. A lot of the fields on this map just sort of fit very nicely into the map itself. And then, of course, we all know that we've got some pretty huge fields on the map as well. All right, so I think we're going the right direction now. We're over here by the restaurant, and we'll head back to the farm. This, as always, gives us an opportunity to get out and just sort of see what's on the map. Some parts of it we don't get to see very much. Another field on our left down there. Or a wide area that could be a field. That's a nice area because you're so close to a lot of the different spots on the map as far as selling. Of course, we are, as far as spots on the map to locate your farm, we are about in the worst spot for that since we're in the top corner of the map, top left-hand corner. So as far as selling things, we have to go the maximum distance. It would be better to have a centrally located farm, but again, just the way things worked out at the beginning, the centrally located part really doesn't help us out a great deal because there's not as much room to build. Plus it's expensive because there are some very large areas of land to purchase here around the center of the map. All right, so far I would have to say that our new purchase of our modded trailer has worked out great. It fits a nice 12 pallets on there, which should be more than enough to last probably a couple of in-game days once we get going with the sheep a little bit more. And then once we get, max capacity on our sheep, we'll probably have to sell wool each and every day, which once again will be some very nice income for us. One of the things I've been on the lookout for is another map to play on. It's starting to get on my nerves a little bit that there is so little area around to build on without having to do a ton of landscaping to sort of make it all work like what we're doing on our main farm now. But so far I haven't found one that I really like. So I'll be on the lookout for that. And if you guys know of a good map that is really fun to build on and where we have a lot of room to expand without having to worry so much about the terrain modification in order to make it work, then let me know. But right now the mod hub is pretty barren with regards to map. There's only the one map on there, which is from the Platinum Edition, I believe, the Platinum DLC that was released for Farming Sim 17. Haven't tried that map out, but just at a quick glance, I'm sure we could make any map work if we wanted to. I mean, for goodness sake, we're making this one work, and this has some of the worst terrain I can imagine as far as building goes. Nice to look at, but not a lot of fun to build on. All right, now that we're around this corner, I'm actually going to hop out. And we're going to go over here and get this guy started. We got some grass to cut. Grass is fully ready for mowing, not just partially ready this time. As you can clearly see walking around on here, that is nice thick grass for us to cut. So we'll get him started. It won't take him very long to get that field mowed. And then of course we'll have to tether it, windrow it, and then finally run the loading wagon over it in order to finish up the process of gathering the hay. We're also going to get into some crop destruction here, I gotta think. Because this guy is probably around 85 to 90% full at this point. And he's waiting for us. You can see I've got some landscaping I need to do in this area. But you can see that's nothing I did, but all of this over here just could use quite a bit of work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and drop off this trailer right in here. That should be good enough for now. And at this point, we'll actually work our way back around. But again, that gave you an opportunity. In fact, let's just go the back way. You can see some of the things I've done. I've wanted to really set apart these loading and unloading zones So I've put, for right now, I've got some pavement texture in there just to make them stand out a little bit. And I kind of like that. Not for sure I'm going to stick with that exact texture, but I like making it stick out apart from, and give the farm a little bit of a different look. And then here we've got our new road area that I've added. And look at there, he's already full. So yeah, we're going to get into some crop destruction there. Fortunately, that is no big deal, because we don't need very many oats. All right, let's get hooked up to our trailer, and we'll get him taken care of and get him back on his way, because we got more work to do. But at this point, and particularly going forward in the future, if I decide to operate less and less on the horses, then it's going to be less and less need that we have for oats. And what I may end up doing is actually, there you go, now you get to see some of the crop destruction. But what I may do is actually take a large portion of this field and actually plant grass on it. Is one of the things that I might do going forward, simply because we won't need very many oats at all. So I'll take, in fact, maybe the portion that you see has already been harvested may be about the size that I leave for oats, and the rest of this will become a grass area so that we can further expand, because as I've mentioned before, I love working with the animals in this game quite a bit more than I enjoy. Let's go ahead and try to spin around as best we can. We'll try to minimize our crop destruction as best we can. But yeah, I get so much more enjoyment out of working with the animals as opposed to just simply the field work. So most everything I do in this game is mostly planned around how to expand our animal enclosures and our maximum number of animals that we can handle. Particularly the cows. I've always enjoyed the cows. If they had goats in the game, I would be a huge fan of them as well. But with no goats in here, then really nothing for us to do with them. All right, so a grass mowing is certainly going right along. And now we have, I've already fully loaded the milk tank, so we're ready to go there. Now we just need to figure out where it is we're going. All right, who's giving us the best price on our milk right now? And that would appear to be, yikes, it's some bad pricing right there. It looks like it's at the Central Grain Elevator, which is really good for us because it is fairly close by. All right, I'm looking for a few more pieces of maybe another silo or something like that. Not the grain silo, but maybe another silo, perhaps like for fertilizer, something like that I can add to the farm. So just some different elements like that to try to fill it out. And again, make it feel as much like a nice farm as I can. Because I think we're coming along quite nicely, particularly once we start to use all of this area here to the right of our truck. There's a lot of area over there, so I'm planning on some storage there, some more animal enclosures, and we're really going to make this thing a nice, robust size farm. All right, but for right now, we're going to have to once again cross over one of the engineering catastrophes. I love that show on TV. I think it comes on the Science Channel, if memory serves me correctly. I watch the channel so much that I generally forget what the name of the channel is between Discovery and Science Channel. But yeah, engineering catastrophes. This bridge would make that list for sure. Because the patchwork here, of course, first thing you got to do is you got to ask, how exactly was this bridge hurt to this extent? Because it looks like there was a huge gaping hole in the center of it that they had to patch up. So first thing you got to ask is, what in the world happened there? And then we just got to ask a lot of questions about this patch job. Yeah, that's certainly nothing to write home about. right, so owning these farms over here to the left, or these fields over here to the left, I mean, would be a great thing. In fact, I mean, you could just have unloading happen right over here at the central grain elevator, and that would take you, I mean, it'd be extremely time efficient. Or one of the other places that are close by. Okay, please stop. I was beginning to wonder if our truck was going to stop for me. There's definitely some physics involved. There's some momentum there because he doesn't like to stop on a dime. All right, so our money's flowing in fairly nicely. Of course, we're not going to get a whole lot off of the wool pallets. Each pallet's got about 1,000, I think they call it 1,000 liters of wool. And we're getting about $1,000 or so dollars from that, $1,100, $1,200, just depending on how good the pricing is at that particular time. But for right now, other than the horses, the milk is our biggest income maker. And we hope going forward that the sheep will add in big time to that, and I think they will. It's just going to take a little time to see how it all sorts itself out. But right now it's appearing, because the next thing we need to do is actually sell off a few cows, because we are getting very close to our maximum in the enclosure of 200. I think we're at like 196, 197, somewhere in that range. Maybe even more than that by now. But we certainly need to leave enough room for future cows to spawn in, that's for sure. All right, fortunately our timing has been pretty good with the train. We haven't really had to sit and wait on the train for very long. But yeah, every time I drive by this area right here, I just get more and more excited about the possibilities for expansion in the future. All right, I'll tell you what, let's go around the back way. For the milk, we'll go ahead and do that. I'm also planning to put a roadway right through here, and then continue this roadway right on down from where we're about to get. But just haven't gotten around to that to this point. All right, let's go ahead and head straight up the side here. Still some more landscaping work there to make this a much better area. But I'm kind of limited because I don't want to infringe upon that field a whole lot. All right, we'll park this guy right here for now because we need to be next to the cow enclosure. So as we come in, let's first take a quick look at how many cows. So we're at 196 right now. 200 is the max. And you can see there, we're at about 3 cows per day. So my plan is to keep it somewhere around 190 cows in here, give or take. It's not a huge deal for me. Let's go ahead and pull up our menu again. And let's sell off a few cows. So we're going to get 2,000 each minus that fee that we're going to have to pay. All right, let's go ahead and do 6 of those. That'll give us about 10 grand, which is perfect. So now if we come back in, take a look at our cows, we're down to 190. So the next thing we need to do is work on our sheep. So for that, let's actually head back over to our sheep enclosure. Oops, not tag, visit. There we go. So it's going to drop us right in the middle of all our sheep. So we'll hop back over to the animal dialogue area. Okay, so we need to pick up, let's see, how low do I want to get our operating funds? We've got 97, almost 98,000 right now. And we're going to continue on with the white sheep. All right, so basically I don't care what the numbers are. I'm basically looking at the total cost right now because we're going to get nowhere near maxing out the enclosure number. So let's go about $60,000 that we're going to spend here, including the fee. Okay, that should be pretty good, and that's going to give us a lot of sheep, which of course is going to mean more wool. So let's go ahead and confirm that. Now we come back in to our animal information. You can see we are at right now 145 sheep. So very nice. And given their productivity or their reproduction rate is about twice roughly what the cows are, we should be in very good shape. So I am very much enjoying where we are. But we've gotten a lot done in today's episode. We sold off our very first pallets of wool, sold off some milk, sold a few cows, and purchased a lot more sheep. So things are very much progressing in the way I want them to here on the farm. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our gameplay series of Farming Simulator 19.